Evening, y'all. This is Collector. I'm gonna do a video about this old disc that I bought at the auction for $22. I bought this thing because I want to use it. I need one. I ain't got one. And they busted blades on it, and blades missing, and this, that, and other. And I knew I could fix it without having to spend any money. So I bought it. And this blade here is broke. See, there's the center of the blade.
Wow.
That's a scallop blade.
Wow.
This in here was on it. Nothing really wrong with it.
Uh-huh.
It's not a scallop blade.
So you're going to be that picky?
In my...
The other three over there ain't scallops.
None of that was hard. But my pile of junk, I had some.
Oh, okay. Sorry I bothered you.
That's the bearing. Let's have one more blade. I'm gonna use this piece of broken blade for a washer.
Uh-huh.
Then, I ain't got the right stuff. You're supposed to have a deal on here. It's got square shoulders you put up there, and it's spaced out here, and you tighten up. I ain't got that. Well, I got some old bearing, and I've got a washer the exact right size. I've got a lock washer, and I've got a big nut.
Oh, again with the nuts.
Yeah, Debbie knows all about nuts. First-hand experience, huh, honey?
Oh, man. So that's the wrench I use on nuts?
I guess.
You need to look out.
I've got a lock washer on it.
No, I said you need to look out.
And what I need to do, as I'm using it, I need to keep checking that and tightening that
Yes,
up.
I know. Every round you're going to have to get out and check, check, check.
And while I using my oil can,
Why are you using your oil can?
bar and chain oil.
Bar and chain oil. Oh, jinker. Just a little bit loud. I can still hear a little. He can't hear diddly squat. I can talk about him right here in front of his face and he don't hear nothing.
No, I don't hear. I watch these videos, then I get to hear what them comments she makes. You know,
Oh.
you think sometimes you folks think I'm ignoring her comments, but that's not what's occurring.
But I think you've got selective hearing because you heard everything I said.
Anyway, but what it is, I just didn't hear her.
Okay, alrighty.
Oh, there it is. I ain't gonna tighten anything up completely tight until I get it all together.
Well, that looks almost all together.
No, I'm talking about I gotta put the brackets and stuff on.
Oh.
But anyway,
What kind of brackets?
when I was a little kid, my dad would buy these old discs like this.
Aren't you still a little kid?
Yeah, but he'd buy these old
Because
discs
I'd like to spank you every
for a
once in
few
a while.
dollars. And he'd drag around that old hill farm over there.
Uh-huh.
Rocks and stumps, they get tore up and broke up.
Mm-hmm.
We broke axles and we took them apart. And my dad would weld the axles back together. We would. Drag them some more.
That's what poor people do.
But you can bush hog bushes you know, in a field.
Yes'm.
And sometimes it'll kill them.
But if you take tannerite, you can blow them out of the field. And then they'll never come
If you
back.
go in there in about August when it's hot and dry
Yeah, yeah,
and run over with a disc,
yeah. And then light them
it'll
afire.
skin them and damage them, go each direction, go 2-3 directions on them
Uh-huh.
bushes.
And then throw down a match.
You'll kill a lot more of them than you ever will bush hogging them.
Yeah. Wow.
Kind of sketchy.
That ain't sketchy. How can it be sketchy? You're not got a pencil and a paper.
No, there's a bracket in the way.
Cut it off. Where's one of your wobble joint doohickeys?
I got what we're doing on.
You got a wobble joint on it? Okay,
I
but
got a wobble joint on it. I'd take these apart with a big break apart.
Well, maybe you need a shorter doohickey and just do it right down there.
Stronger arm.
Mm-hmm. You got to do it till that quits wobbling?
No, that wobble's the wear inside that boxing. We
Oh.
call them boxings. It's a bearing, but it's not got a bearing in it. It's just
Oh.
cast iron against another piece of cast iron.
Oh.
I'm about tight enough here.
Oh, yeah.
But if you look, see how that slop?
Papers, that's horrible.
They got grease fittings on them.
I'll go get you some of that
But my
spray
opinion,
stuff.
if
Yeah.
you grease them,
Yeah.
all you do is that grease combines with the sand and grit, and you made yourself some valve grinding and compound. Eat that up. Better off not
Oh,
to mess with them.
cool.
Better off just leave them dry.
Leave them dry.
Okay, you're gonna have to back up a little, honey,
Okay.
because I gotta let it down.
Okay.
The bolts are together.
Do 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 do. Well, the kids are out of school and they've been out. Today was their last day.
And they didn't go.
And yeah, they didn't go to school. They all said, we're not going to school, so we didn't force them to go. And matter of fact, I don't even think I seen the bus go by. Hi, Miss Addie. Hi. You gonna tell them school's out? You gonna say school's out?
School is out.
Yep, school's out. Teacher, let the monkeys out. Are you a monkey?
One went east,
No.
one went west.
No.
And one went up the teacher's dress. I remember that one.
I got 3 flowers.
You got pretty flowers? Oh, wonderful.
Mama,
I see 'em. I see them. Let me see them. Hold them still so I can see your pretty flowers. Well, you're going to have to hold your hand still, darling. Oh, there they are. Those are pretty.
There's one that's blown open.
Yeah, they're pretty flowers.
And that's the
You know who's picked me flowers before out in the yard? Papa. I know he surprised the daylights out of me. And he brought me some little bitty roses, little miniature roses that he picked.
Anyway,
And that frogged the gilly doppers off me.
I'm
I
just gonna
like
put
the
this together by hand.
I know. Well, you have to hold them, honey.
There's this deal right here.
Yes.
Papa, you
What this this is?
That's called a S-band. No, you have to hold them, darling.
That's a scraper.
Oh, yeah. For scraping dirt off of the doohickeys.
Without these scrapers, sometimes you get that red clay that's a little bit damp,
Yes.
and it'll ball up on here, and you just
Yes.
have like a roller, a red clay roller,
Yes.
instead of cutting.
You are doing it. Yep. And sometimes it even makes your disc way up high in the air.
Anyway,
Yep.
no, that's just Randall's opinion. But if you're gonna go plow a field,
Yeah.
you want to run a disc over it first
A disc over
and
it first.
pulverize that dirt on top.
Uh-huh.
Get your 3 or 4 inches cut. Then when you plow it over, you ain't got an air pocket underneath there. It's all pulverized. Then you run a disc over it again on top and drag a harrow behind it, and you pulverize that top part. So then you've got your seed bed that ain't got no hollow pockets of air in it.
Ah. Ah.
But anyway, that isn't an original opinion by me. I read that in an old book from John Deere called The Care and Repair Operation of Farm Machinery. It told you how to set the proper draft on the plow and how to make a proper seed bed. And if you're planting clover, if you're planting any kind of clovers, you need
Okay, now what's that
coat
doohickey?
packet,
What's that doohickey?
put a roller or something.
Oh, it goes on the next one. Oh, and that's a like a tooth looking kind,
I'm
like
old and all this.
vampire tooth. Why? You want it to come off again?
Take it apart, which I doubt I ever do.
Yeah, I doubt you ever used it.
I'm gonna use it.
Okay, I'll believe it when I see it.
Depend on using it.
Uh-huh.
If nothing
Kind of like that white truck over there you insisted on having. And
else,
not the semi with the Ozark on it, but that white flatbed there that he ain't never did nothing with.
oh, that big bomb truck.
Yeah, that big bob track. You ain't did nothing with it.
I got that running,
Uh-huh.
and it had this big old Holly carburetor on it
Yep, go on.
with a bunch of air lines on it that run back to a Governor distributor.
Mm-hmm.
The carburetor wasn't no good.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled that off and I got me an adapter and I adapted a great big 2-barrel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it run good, but with that Governor distributor,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't work right because the Governor didn't have no vacuum advance on it. Well, it's a 366 big block.
Uh-huh.
So dumb old Randall says, I'll put electronic ignition on it. So I got a big block distributor, electronic ignition, I throw down in there,
Uh-huh.
and
Well, I can tell you why it didn't
instead
work. You
of
throwed it down in there.
sitting in the seat
Uh-huh.
and starting it, I had my start button under the deal, and I had to just turn the key on, went around and hit my start button and started it up because I wanted the time on that distributor.
Uh-huh.
And that distributor I put in there wasn't driving the oil pump, and I started it up without any oil pump turning.
Oh, no.
And I run it probably 5 minutes,
Uh-huh.
not hearing them lifters rattling and all that
'cause you
crap,
can't
till
hear
I
no
walked
more.
around there and looked to see it didn't have any oil pressure.
Uh-oh, so then what did you do?
I shut it off.
And then what happened?
I got to pull the oil pan off it and pull all the rod and main bearings down and take a look at them. Be sure, probably replace the bearings at least.
So, in other words, pull it behind the back.
I run the engine,
Yeah,
more or less.
so it's
Well, there it is.
never gonna work. Okay,
No,
yeah, this is,
These old discs.
yes,
See, this is kind of loose here.
you need to paint it, make
That's
it look
loose
pretty.
there. Now that there, I'm gonna put a pin in there. It's got a square-headed nut. And
Yeah,
that'll
it's-
just vibrate off. I'll
it's-
put a
yeah.
pin with a cotter key.
Yes, go.
But you want these old discs where they can flop and
Go like
move
this?
around. Each one of these gangs.
Yep.
See, this is not tight.
Yep,
each one of these gangs, if you hit a stump, one can raise up over it or a rock or, you know, this and that. You need it.
Yep.
But what I wanted to do, there's some of that over on that other place I wanted to burn off. I can't burn it off unless I disc around it first because it gets that sagegrass afire. You know, you can die of a heart attack trying to put out a fire before it runs over onto your neighbor's property. But if you just disc around it before you ever light it, and then whichever way the wind's blowing, you get on the lee side of that where it burns into the wind.
Oh, okay.
Instead of starting and letting the wind carry it through, you let it burn into the wind.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yes.
the reason I did it this on the trailer and did it here, I'm gonna take it over to the place.
All
There's
righty.
no point. There's no point me unloading it here and then having to fix it over there. And I got all my tools and
Have you
everything
got
here.
room for more stuff on here?
What?
You got room for more stuff? There's other stuff you can
there's other
take.
stuff I can throw on here. and whatever
Yeah.
without
Let me
that.
start pointing.
This is true. This is true. I don't know whether I'll put it on there, but there's room.
And are you starting a used car right here? I see all these
But
little
this
cars
rack
right here.
that I bought, I'll give $7.50 for this rack, and there's
Yes.
5 of these metal deals.
Yeah, I know.
And Debbie says it's on rollers. She says it's supposed to go in her pantry.
Yeah, supposed to go in my pantry.
Okay. Well, it's $7.50 rack, and they sold Choice. It's full of junk. They sold Choice, and then they sold a rack with all the last of the junk on it.
Oh, okay.
And you know,
And
so I
you
bought
didn't get it.
it. And a lot of them odds and ends is laying around on the ground and stuff.
Yeah, stuff we don't need that never goes nowhere.
The flower.
Oh, your poor flower.
Look at it.
What I might do is
It's,
find another nut and double nut this.
well, the only nut I know is using that
You-
wrench on that
You
nut.
want these as tight as you can get them.
Oh, righty.
Them axles is square, but there's a little bit of slop in that. It don't fit real tight. And if you ever get these to start spinning on the axle, that metal will just cut the axle in two.
Oh, dear.
Well,
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, man, you're getting more and you ain't even done nothing. Wow. Wow. You're moving the whole disc. Wow.
It's probably pretty.
Mama.
One time an old man was telling a story.
Oh, that's pretty.
He worked on the towboats. And there's this big old boy come to work on towboats, you know. Big, stout, young guy. Giant of a boy.
Yeah.
An old man told him, he said, go ahead and tighten that winch up. Had a big bar they tightened it up with. You tighten that up, get it as tight as you can, then when you get it tightened, I'll tighten it another round or two after you get done. And this is a little old man, you know. So that big old boy, he's putting it to it. He put all he could. He tightened that thing up. And these winches got big ropes on them, and they hold them barges together. And when he got all done, that big boy got all done and tightened. The old man come along, and he had the wrench on there, and he had him a sledgehammer. And he goes, so don't mess with old guys. They may not be able to whoop you, but they can beat you with experience. The same with arguing with them. You know, don't argue with some dumb guy. You may not can out argue them, but they'll just wear you out with their experience. Anyway.
Okay, what do women do to you?
Oh, women's just the greatest thing around. They'll smile at you and do videos for you. And she made me a big bunch of egg salad from them, all them chicken eggs today.
And I made you bacon and eggs this morning.
Bacon and eggs this morning for breakfast.
Oh, it smells good.
Actually, it was second breakfast. It was about 9 o'clock when I ate it.
No.
First breakfast is when I get up and rummage around the kitchen about daylight and I find something to put in my old belly.
It tickles.
While she's
That
back there
tickle.
still getting her beauty sleep.
Oh gosh, with these kids, I need a lot of beauty sleep.
But anyway, I think I'm done with the
I
chat.
say, oh, let go, Miss Addie. Oh boy, howdy.
But anyway,
I got a two spin.
there it is, pretty much back together. I got a few more bolts and nuts to tighten up. And I'm gonna take this in here out.
Uh-huh.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. Take it out so that front will just fall off.
I'm gonna find a pin. I'd want a regular pin in here. It don't need to be tied on there.
No.
But see, that's just an old galvanized, that's kind of galvanized bolts the power company uses to bolt stuff
Oh.
together.
Well, don't throw it away.
No, I'll put it up in there. But I've got a pin that I can put through there and put a washer and a cotter key under there. And that'll hold up better than that.
Mm-hmm. Whatever you say.
Somebody
honey.
else had that in there.
Okay.
But anyway, them gangs is pretty straight right now. And what they do, you can adjust it right here.
Uh-huh.
Them little look like waves.
Uh-huh.
You can pull that back, and as you keep doing that,
Dragging
them
back
gangs
or
get like
whatever.
this. And
Ah.
the steeper they get, the more they cut.
Oh, okay.
You know, so you can adjust it to cut it real hard, you know, big furrow or low and everything. It originally had probably a lever with a rope that you could pull from the seat and pull your tractor forward and back and
Yes.
adjust it, but all that's gone, but it don't matter.
Yeah.
I'll
don't
just leave
matter.
it however I want it,
Yes, just
Get off.
leave it.
fool with it.
Take it off and just leave it.
But I can pull that off the trailer tomorrow and unload my mowing machine.
Okay.
See, them holes in my trailer's handy. That wheel fell down that and that and fell in that and it ain't gonna fall off.
No, it ain't.
It ain't gonna- I'll put a chain back on it.
But you know what's bad is when you're walking along on this trailer and you're not paying attention.
One time I was working for this guy and he had an old low boy trailer
Uh-huh.
and had a big board floor, you know, 2-inch boards, oak boards, you know. You load bulldozers and this, that, and other on there, and them old boards, eventually some of them cracked. Well, there was one board that had broke, and there's a little hole. It was about 8 inches wide and about 12 inches long. Just the end of part of one of the boards had broke off.
Uh-huh.
And I had a load of telephone cable on there.
Uh-huh.
And what I was doing, I had me an old piece of a road sign,
I love you too, darling.
and I could lay my log chain in that piece of road sign,
Uh-huh.
in that groove, and I could shove it through the center of that cable
Oh, okay.
roll.
Uh-huh.
And then I had a chain through the center, and then I could run them chains over and run the backhoe up on the low boy and hook the backhoe to it and unload this cable.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, his son come down there, and he just didn't think I was doing this fast enough or something. And him and his uncle come down there. His uncle got on the backhoe, and he jumped up there and grabbed that angle, and they was unloading that stuff and all that, you know, because, I don't know, they didn't like paying me by the hour, I guess. You know, just do things at my own pace.
Mm-hmm.
And that boy was walking up through there,
Uh-huh.
and he stepped off in that hole.
Uh-huh.
His name's Randy, like me, but he's younger than me. He stepped off in that hole, and when he went down in there, and he was thicker than I was, and it skinned his legs, you know, and he landed all the way to his crotch, and it twisted his leg and hurt him pretty bad, you know. And
You should have warned him.
he was all mad at me because
Yeah.
there was a hole in the floor and I hadn't fixed it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he going on,
why?
Ray, why don't you get aboard and fix that
Yeah,
thing?
why
I
hadn't
said,
you?
because I know that hole was there and I wasn't dumb enough to step off in it, you know. Anyway, but it's his daddy's trailer. I mean, he could have put a board in it just as easy as me.
Okay.
But anyway, after they did that, he got in his truck and left.
Well, he was hurt. He probably had to go to the hospital.
Well, I don't know where he went.
Make
he left.
sure his equipment was
So
fine.
boy, run the backhoe. His uncle did. And I shoved them cables through there and went up there, and I took my time about it, you know. Instead of jumping up on the side of the trailer, I'd walk down to the end of the low board and walk up the ramp, you know, walk up there and hook that up, all that, you know. I wasn't gonna jump up and down and crawl around like a monkey and all that on there, you know, a hot day, you know, it's hourly pay, you know. You work steady, but you know, you ain't gotta work at a breakneck speed. But that's what they was doing.
Yeah, and look what it did to him.
But anyway, I guess it's a little bit of karma. I thought it was funny. I laughed in his face. It made him all the matter.
Anyway, I think that's
He lives right up the road up here.
you're gonna
He's
get
still alive. Well, I
you're
don't care
gonna
if he
get
sees
yourself
it.
the whip.
You'll remember it. You'll remember it.
Yeah, you'll probably come down here and say, I owe you this. And
He'll come down and punch me in the nose.
no, probably poke you through your holes. Because
Yeah.
you got quite a few.
Well, what it was is just what metal I had, and I welded it in there. And I've got more, and I've been aiming to cut it out and let my little
And how
grandson
long is
Chris, who's
and
a
how
welder.
long has this been aiming to happen?
Well, I don't know.
I know.
It works.
Okay.
I tend to do as little as possible to this trailer.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Just
anyway, I think Randy's done because
Yeah, we're done with the disc story. Not much else going on. I still got stuff to pick up and move and
I know I
put away.
couldn't leave if I wanted to.
No, Debbie's car's blocked.
Yeah,
Her car
mine-
won't clear them.
No, I'll drag them to town.
Keeps my girl running away from home.
Is that what you're doing? Keep me from running away from home?
You know,
Is that why you always keep the gate locked?
yeah.
You don't want to let the wife get away.
Keep the gate locked. And all that good stuff. Anyway, we had a pretty good Memorial Day weekend, you know.
Nothing happened,
Nothing
so
happened, you know, out of the way. But a bunch of people did have some bad storms, and
Oh,
some
my
people
goodness.
died in Arkansas and all kinds
Yes.
of, you know, I don't like
prayers
them
for all
things.
of you that
I don't
had
know.
storm damage.
I don't
That's
know what to
terrible.
say about it other than just bad,
Yeah.
you know, no fun for anybody. And I'll eventually get all this done, but tomorrow morning early before it gets hot, I'm gonna go over and unload these two pieces
Okay.
over to the other place.
Okay. We'll see.
We'll
What-
say goodbye and good luck to you. Y'all got to see me do a little bit of work.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Thank y'all, and be sure and like and subscribe and comment below. And have a great day. And thank y'all for watching. Bye.